Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. I wanted to pop by live on Facebook because I want to thank everyone who showed up for me yesterday when I had posted about my son moving out and how deeply, deeply hard hit I was by that. And I just loved every one of you who took the time to share your heart and share your thoughts and your advice. And a lot of people just, showed up with love. And it's got me thinking a lot. So now it's been, hi, Erin. It's now been about 24 hours, and I've still been like weeping all day long. But what I want to say is that you make a difference. And I know, we all hear that all the time, and we all like sort of know that, like, oh, it matters, show up for people, your love matters, your presence matters. But it really, really, really does. And I can tell you, like, that was the smartest thing I've done, which was to post yesterday asking for help. And so it's the first thing that I want to say is, it doesn't have to be what I'm going through, right? Like, I know there are actually a lot of other parents who are, going through the whole thing of the empty nest syndrome, which is so real. But there's also people who, oh, Rachel, hi. There are people who have lost jobs or changing jobs or going through divorce or breakups, or obviously, the complete heartache of deaths. And, so all of the kinds of loss that we experience. And that's the other thing. I know I'm kind of rambling, but it's so important. I've been thinking so much about Brene Brown, and she has a podcast on comparative suffering, because I almost didn't post yesterday to Facebook because I felt like, oh, this isn't that big of a deal. But it was a big deal to me, but it didn't feel like, in the scope of things, out of all of the big things and the griefs that people can go through, it didn't seem like such a big thing. And yet I did post, and what happened was I got the support I needed. And I just want to say, so Brene Brown talks about not comparing what we're going through with what anybody else is going through, and that actually, when we look at it, like, if we allow all of us, if we just each allow ourselves to have the pain, the crying, the loss, the grief of whatever it is that we're grieving, then in some ways, I know this isn't exactly what she says, but I'm pretty sure it's something like this, which is that it enables us to be more open and loving and empathetic with other people, which I think is true. I know I'm only 24 hours into this, and I've got probably quite a while to go, because I'm really, really, really sad about my son leaving. However, so already, like I said, there were going to be three things that I wanted to share with you, and one of them is, ask for help. Really, the second is what I just said, which was really allow yourself to have what you're feeling. And if you feel like I did, which is a little bit embarrassed about whatever it is, like, oh, this isn't really that big of a deal, I shouldn't bother people, I should just be able to roll with this, don't do that. Like, whatever it is, if it's hard for you, then you deserve to feel it, right? And I think that that's the essence of what Brene was saying. And also, what I had the chance to see yesterday by posting, and please, if you're going through anything right now that feels like, this whole thing of anything with your children and missing them, hi, Rachel, I love that, then read those comments, because the wisdom from people that I know, I was blown away. So much wisdom, so much love, so much heart. And that, what I say, feel your feelings. Oh, Karen, I love that. Sadness is sacred. It is. It is. One of the things that I have been really thinking about is this experience of being so sad for the last 24 hours has opened me up to all kinds of other things that other people are going through. It's really made me think. For instance, I regret that I have not really been very present to the pain of what happens for people when their children leave home. For me, I've always just seen it as like, oh, it's so great, it's so exciting, they're going away. And, because I wasn't going through it, I didn't really have the real empathy for, yeah, it is exciting, it's great. And of course, we're so thrilled that our children are able to leave home and that they're able to go away and to be independent. But there is also that whole other side that I feel opened up to in a new way. So where was I? I love this. I just jumped on. I didn't really fully think. I just knew there were 3 things I wanted to say. I'm going to spit them out so I get them out really fast. Feel your feelings and don't judge your feelings. Karen said, sadness is sacred. I love that. Ask for help, no matter what, and you don't have to do like I did. It doesn't have to be a big public post, although I can say that was really amazing because I also heard from so many people that I miss and that I haven't seen in a while, and it connected me to people. But ask for help, even if it's a text to your best friend or your mom or your sister. Ask someone. Don't be afraid to reach out. And then the third thing I really wanted to say that I've been paying such close attention to is, and this is something I experienced long, long ago when I had that awful period of deep depression, which is that it's not solid. Oh, hi, Gwen. Thank you. And I so appreciate it. I know you popped by yesterday with your wonderful, wonderful support. It's not solid. So it can feel like when we're going through something that's really hard, it can, in the mind, and I know like my monkey mind keeps trying to get me to think like it's this like solid pain. But when I've been paying close attention, like yesterday, there were times when I was reading through everyone's comments and support and love, and I wasn't crying, right? And of course, there are other times I was reading that I'm bawling. And there are times I'm walking outside and I'm just noticing how beautiful the flowers and the trees are. And other times I'm walking outside and I'm bawling and I'm crying and it feels so like it's going to drown me. But that taking the rest in the moments, and the way that this showed up for me 30 years ago when it very nearly killed me, which is that I used to say, I don't want to kill myself right now. And it was that like recognition that it was not solid, because otherwise the mind is so, I'm talking about like the conditioned mind, whatever that part is that can sometimes just be so fiercely after us, that it can want us to think that it's all solid and there's no way out. And some of you have heard me talk about like back then, it felt like this iron wall closing in on me. And I was sure that it was just going to kill me. But when I started paying attention to those resting places in between, and so back then at first it started with like, I don't want to kill myself right now. And that was enough. It was enough to get me to the next moment. But then after a while, maybe months pass of me doing that. But after a while, I started saying like, oh, I actually feel good right now, and it might be, I always think about holding my cats or, tiny moments of like the sun coming in the window. Those moments are such resting places for us, no matter, what we're going through. And I just am re-experiencing so powerfully that practice, which has been in my life, all these years, but I really haven't had to practice as much as I have these last 24 hours with sort of paying attention. And even now, like not even now, especially now, it's the same thing. Like I'm looking and I'm seeing these beautiful faces, even though they're little eensy beensy over here to my right, but seeing your faces, those are what I call pinpricks of light, in that iron wall that's closing in. If we can find the pinpricks of light, and oftentimes it comes in the form of people we love, or even people that we may barely know, but who show up. I can't even believe, some of the people that I only sort of know on Facebook who stopped yesterday to offer their support, to offer their wisdom, to offer their love. And each of those faces, each of you is a pinprick of light in that iron wall that feels like it can be closing in when we're really scared and we're really anxiety filled, or maybe we're really filled with grief. And did I ever get to the 3 things? I don't know if I did. Let me see. Let yourself feel your feelings, ask for help, rest in the moments in between. It's kind of, I think, for me, it has to be that simple sometimes. Like when it feels like these like waves. And again, I have to keep stopping myself because I feel as if there is this, the way that the mind wants to go to, stop that. So many people are going through things that are so much worse. Stop being a baby, stop complaining. That's just all of this. And I'm trying to out that because that's not how I want to live. And I know if I had listened to that, I wouldn't have been able to ask for help. I wouldn't have been able to just let myself have my feelings around all of this. And it would have just been like this, right? And I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. And I'm so lucky because, again, I'm just looking at those of you who have been so sweet to be posting right now. And I look at you and I learn from you. I've been learning from everyone who stops to share. And I think that's what we do for each other. I just think, wow, how can I show up for people over and over and over again, just like the way that people showed up for me yesterday, which is, kind of like just keeping an eye out for when people are going through something that could be really difficult. And so, I just really want to, I guess it's that both sides right now of having been someone who asked for help and received it in such a beautiful way, is that deep, deep, deep appreciation for that. And the other side, oh, Carla, oh, Carla said, still crying on her way home after dropping off her baby girl. I know, sweet pea. Oh my God. I'm so glad that you're here right now. And yes, it's crazy how much it hurts to leave them. It's just crazy. And this, anyway. So both sided piece of asking for help, asking people like, I need you. This really hurts. Can I just cry with you? It's amazing how much that is like a balm. And then the other side of it, and I want to call out a shout out to my friend Lori, who I mentioned in another post yesterday. Lori Wagner, before I even posted this, before my son had left, actually, I think she knew because she had 2 girls who left home and went away to school. And I think she knew because she had sent me an audio note a few days ago and just sort of preemptively saying, I see what a great mom you are. I see how great your son is. And just, I know this is going to be a big transition. I know this is going to be really hard for you. Like she saw the moment and reached out for help. And I think that's the other thing I wanted to say is can we do that for people? Sometimes before they even know that they need it. So that's all I wanted to say. Feel your feelings, let it be. Don't judge, don't compare what you're going through with anybody else. Just trust that there's something that needs to happen, needs to move through you. And I've been noticing, just as an aside with this, that it's allowing myself to feel this deep, deep sadness over my son leaving, and this sort of the end of this huge chapter, that it's allowing me to grieve some other things that I think I pushed down in my life. And I think that often happens is that piggybacking of grief. So it's if we don't allow one thing, sometimes it's it just stays there in our bodies. So feeling our feelings, not comparing, asking for help, and then resting in the moments. and really noticing the moments in between. That has been amazing for me just to see over the last day. Like, oh, okay, I'm not sobbing right now. Like right now, I'm not sobbing. I'm talking to you. I feel connected. Oh, Carla, I love you too. I'm really with you. Oh, man, I know, it's just crazy. So whatever it is, whatever you're going through, please, reach out publicly, reach out to a friend, reach out to someone you know. And if you're on the other side of it, reach out and offer help to someone you think is going through something. We really need each other. I was just thinking today how many different things, the pandemic has brought like so much transition and change and fear and anxiety, and then it's like the layers of everything that's happened. We need each other so much. I mean, we always have, but I think so much more right now. So I am so grateful. That was the main thing I wanted to say. I'm just so super grateful. I'm probably going to go back and read all those comments 100 times over. Carla, I hope you'll go back and read all of those too. All of the parents who have gone through this and, have survived it and developed like amazing relationships with their adult children, even though it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same as when you live with them. But okay. Thank you all. Love you.